Beeblebrook's the British Tech Guru. Well, I'm back. I had a wild trip to Britain, and I went on the way over. There was a storm, and I got stuck on the runway in Colombia for 3 hours, and then they had to put more fuel in the plane so that we could go around the storm and to land in Atlanta. Well, we did that. I had half an hour to make it across Atlanta Airport. I made it. I got there, got to my plane, and flew to Britain. Well, my luggage didn't make it, and it caught up to me 6 days later. But Britain was quite interesting, quite entertaining. It's the usual thing. And I just went to stay with my dad and help him out a little bit. Let me see now. Highlights. Well, walking through the streets, I'd see a young lady walking along. I'd think nothing of it. Walk past. We'd pass each other, and then afterwards I go, "What? She had an Adam's apple." I've seen that a couple of times. So obviously, Britain is getting a little bit more liberal that way. I also noticed that the town I came from, which was Swansea, was pretty much a white-only town, monocultural, nothing else. Just white people, no one apart from there was one young lady who was I can't say African American. She was black, and the one young lady who was black in school, and that was it. That was the only black person I'd ever seen until I came to America. Now, of course, I go into Swansea, and it's become really, really multicultural. It's quite different from the town I grew up in, and quite honestly, I think it's a bit more interesting because of that. And there doesn't seem to be any more money in the area, but it definitely seems more multicultural. And a lot more variety there now. So yeah, I'd say it's probably improving. Anyway, so spent my time there with my dad and helped him out, and of course I ordered a new crock pot for him, since his old one never seems to get washed, and it had food crusted and burned on the inside. That'll need a good lot of cleaning. So then, so at the same time I ordered a string trimmer, or a strimmer, or weed whacker, whatever you like to call it, so I could take care of the two meadows and get the front and back lawns into a position that they could be mown. Well, I ordered those two items from the same company, Argos. I truly believed they were never ever going to arrive, because the delivery man came, didn't deliver them, said he thought he were on his truck, but they weren't. Well, a week went by and nothing happened, and then eventually they turned up just before I was leaving to come here. So that wasn't all that helpful. So the trimmer just got put away, and the crock pot, he's washed that and he's using it. So I'm glad about that. Anyway, coming back, I flew from Cardiff. My taxi turned up on time. I flew from Cardiff to Amsterdam, no problem. Amsterdam, I had to use the bathrooms, and I found that their toilet paper is definitely not something that is user-friendly. It's like using sandpaper. Yes. That puts me in mind of that Australian comedy on YouTube. Sandy, the toughest toilet paper you'll ever use. Now Sandy with new chili oil. Yes. Interesting. Anyway, so rather painful stuff to use. And then I flew to I waited 5 hours, and then I flew to Atlanta. And then I realised I had a 12-hour layover in Atlanta, which is not something I wanted. But it took me an hour to get through customs, even though I had nothing to declare. There was just that many people, it was that understaffed. So I got through customs, and then I thought, well, let me see if I can queue at this desk, this Delta desk, to see if I can move my flight forward. Well, I waited in that line for 45 minutes and nothing happens. And then somebody says, then the airport employees come along and they say, "Oh, don't wait here, don't queue for this here. Go through these doors, go out of the airport, and ask at the Delta desk outside." So we did. Well, I tried to find the Delta desk, I couldn't find it. Well, eventually I found it, and it was closed. Not very helpful. So I started asking about hotels for the night. And they said I needed to get to the other terminal, the domestic terminal. I was at the international terminal, I didn't know. Anyway, so I found the free bus. That took half an hour to get there. So I'd arrived at 8, it was now 9, now 9:45. Now it's about 10:15 by the time I got to the other terminal. So I asked there, where's the hotel desk, hotel bookings desk? And they said, well, over there, that's where the hotel shuttles leave from. So I went over there, where he pointed, and there was just a line of hotel shuttle buses. Well, I don't know which hotels have got vacancies, nor how much they cost. Okay, so I looked at that blankly and sat down for a few minutes to gather my thoughts. And then I looked at the time, and it was probably about 11 or 11:15. Well, if I go to an hotel then, it's probably going to take 30 minutes to get there, 30 minutes to get back from the hotel in the morning. So that's an hour gone. So that 11:15 becomes 12:15. And my flight is at 8. So I would need to be at the airport at 6. Which meant that I had 5 hours, if that, and I'd have to shower as well. So I'd be paying for an hotel for the night for basically 4 hours. Just wasn't worth it. So I found the Delta desk, and I wanted to check my bag in, and the bag check-in had closed. And they said it opened at 3:30 in the morning. Well, okay. So it's now near midnight. So I've sat down in an almost empty food court just to wait for the next 3 hours. Went to Burger King, that was the only place that was open. And had something to eat and drink. And then watched as the airport's security and police threw homeless people out. The homeless people stay in there. So then after that, the 3:45, the Delta desk finally opened. I checked my bag in and went through security, and that took me probably about an hour. So 4:45, and by the time I got through that, and then I had to go through all this ridiculous little underground train they have to get to my terminal. And I was at the terminal about probably about 5:45. And the flight would leave at 8. So I just sat down to try and take a little bit of a nap. Well, probably got about 30 minutes. Then it was a little bit weird, and there was some lad walking around with earrings, a skirt, and a girly backpack, which I thought was a little bit interesting. And I commented on it to the lady beside me. And she was all supporting him. Yes, he's got a right to do that. Well, I know he's got a right to do that. He's got a right to do anything. It's a free country. I was just thinking it was a little unusual. And that was my only thought. Hey, that's noteworthy. This is unusual. It doesn't particularly bother me. So anyway, I waited for the flight. The flight turned up, left on time. There's an alarm going off at the back somewhere. I don't know what that was. It didn't seem to make them want to return to the airport. So I just figured, well, the pilot wants to live as much as everybody else. Anyway, we got to the airport and landed, collected my stuff and jumped in a taxi and came home. And then I spent probably the last 2 days recovering from not sleeping for several days. So that's where we are right now.